mean, if you see this one night, and you go to bed, morning after, you are thinking about it while you're brushing your teeth, that's work well done for me, Okay, so you're okay. You're making breakfast and think, what the fuck did I watch last night? That's good. That's the kind of work I want to do.
Hi, this is Julia Fidel. I'm the head of Berlinale Series, and now I'm very pleased to speak to Pablo Fendrik, the creator, director of Entre, hombres. For the beginning, so everybody knows what the two of us are talking about, could you, in 2-3 sentences, tell us a little bit what this show is about?
Well, it's mainly about a pretty exclusive male ecosystem in which most of their individuals communicate and live through violence. It's pretty much the only language they know. So it's like there's no room for something else that is not violent, yeah, and that's something, I mean, you have to put yourself in a very special mindset to work on something like this, because it's constant violent in some way or another. So it was something to deal with during the production.
How do you then get home to your family? I mean, I know you've got 2 children. That must have been intense.
Yes, but mostly they were like a shelter, like a place to go there and feel warm, and feel love. And principal photography was so intense, I couldn't see them much because I was working like 12, 13 hours a day. And at the weekends, I was like in a coma. Yeah, and that was for about 3 months. But it was very easy up to a moment to really disconnect from the energy of the set and come back to my family, in the warmest possible state.
That coma that you got yourself into was very well worth it, because it is an incredibly intense show. And just for everybody to understand, it is happening in the year of 1996, and it is about the underworld of Buenos Aires, and everybody is kind of corrupt.
Delincuentes comunes, malvivientes de la peor estirpe, han filmado al senador participando en una fiesta negra.
Esto es una carrera, Almada. El que llega primero se queda con todo.
Where did the initial idea for the series come from?
Yeah, it didn't come from me. It is a book, It's a novel that Herman Maggiore wrote back in the early 2000s. And then I started working with HBO on a different series. The executive producer of that series, that it's called Diego Andrasnik, came to me one day and told me, I got a project, I got a book that I really would like you to direct. I think you're the right one for this book. I said, don't tell me it's Entre, hombres. It's Entre, hombres. I know the book, Okay, but this time we want to do a 4-episode limited series. Okay, that suits me even better. Of course, it helps a lot that the author, Herman, was involved in the adaptation with me. He did pretty much much of the job. I was there, like supervising and writing certain sequences and in a way and setting the tone and all. It was green-lighted very fast. as the adaptation came along. They say, okay, we like this, we like this, we like this. Oh, we really like this.
That sounds really good. But then you needed to find more people who were kind of sharing your vision. And who would you say would have been like the strongest collaborators for you to get the aesthetics that you wanted to convey of this series?
I think, first of all, I have to say the production team, because it is a very difficult material to portray, in the way that I wanted to portray it. It took some courage from them to say, okay, I want you to do this, and we want you to do it your way. So what do you want to do with this? And they actually let me do those things that I wanted to do. And this is a huge production for Argentinian standards, but still, the budget was not enough. So it takes some very clever people to say, okay, where do we put the money? Art direction, mostly, many things in art direction, wardrobes, special makeups every day. We wanted to recreate this period in a very intelligent way, and most of our resources were there. When you shoot in such a hostile conditions like we did, and the actors are cold and in very awful places, and they have to do scenes where naked and with tons of blood and blah, blah, blah. You need someone who take good care of them, and the wardrobe team, they are the first line of response into that. They take care of it.
You know that I'm a huge fan. You know what I'm going to ask you about now, because I'm such a big fan about the editing. And I've been bugging you with that from the first email that I wrote to you saying, oh my God, I have seldomly seen something like this where the edit has been so present to me. And it's another language, in my opinion, in the series. And it's very distinct. And you've been telling me a little bit about it. And I wanted you to share this with everyone. So let me know about the editing.
It was a long. It was a lot of work. I've been thinking about this because I think it all starts with the script and with the novel, of course, because that pace, that rhythm, it's already in the novel. It's given from there. Then, of course, we shoot it in a very specific way. There were no many other ways to edit it, because we shoot it this way in order to be edited like you saw it. I have a very specific notion, a very specific idea of every scene. I'm very, soy un pesado. Sometimes I know I can be too much for an editor.
Let's call it intense.
Yeah, quite intense, yes. But we play a lot with structure. The structure was a very important thing. When things didn't work out, we took the liberty to, TNT everything and start all over again from scratch. Okay, reshaping things and replacing things. And that was a very fun and risky job to do. All this was possible because they let us do this. I always come back to this because I still think it's very important. The people from HBO, they let us do our thing.
We like them for that. The image of masculinity that you are depicting in the series is a very harsh one, is a very brutal one, and everything. And my question is were you worried that you could be misunderstood with this series? And also, was this something that you already took care of in the making of the series, so that everybody kind of managed to distance themselves from it as well? Or how did you prepare for it?
After really thinking about it, I put it in this place. I found that it could work pretty well as a mirror, as a mirror for male genre, from male kind. Okay, how do we feel when we see this extreme portrait of what it is to be male in its more brutal and dark and extreme way? How do we feel about it? Do we feel kind of good? Do we feel uncomfortable? Do we feel rejected from this? And that could help us to evaluate ourselves, if you see yourself in that mirror, okay, maybe we can think a little bit more about ourselves today. When you add the humor in the mix, and that humor works and makes you laugh, makes you ha ha ha, but it's a very uncomfortable laugh. If you ask yourself, what am I laughing at? Then my work is well done, because you cannot only laugh about it. You have to be suspicious about that sense of humor in one way or another. And the thing that I explained to all the team and the actors is, we are going to work on a genre. This is going to be a very kind of specific tale. This is not realism. We are going to depart from realism, and we don't even want to touch realism. Because if we do that, if we go through realism, then we will shock people, and then we'll disgust people in a way we don't want to. So in order to do that, we work mainly two principal aspects, mainly with the actors, the tone of their acting, their interpretation. It has to be a little bit over the top, a little bit, far away from realism. That, and then of course, the way we shoot it, that it was full of, very cinematic movements and stuff, that somehow tells the audience all the time, okay, we are not just, watching something like viewedness in something from a social realism kind of view. Camera is not neutral.
And I wanted to ask about, I see, or you told me that you are in a quarantine hotel at the moment, preparing for your next project. What can you tell us a little bit about it, or is it all very secret so far?
Well, I have a huge NDA that I signed, but I can tell you that it's. I cannot tell you much, but I'm going to be there for the next month shooting a sci-fi series.
Sci-fi series or film?
No, it's a series. It's a sci-fi series, a Latin American sci-fi series. I needed to do something very, very different from, Entre Hombres, for example. And here I am. I mean, it was this or a romantic comedy, but...
Yeah, I'd like to see that from you.
Yeah.
A romantic comedy next.
A romantic comedy or a sci-fi, invasion thing. So here I am.
Thank you very much for being here and discussing Entre Hombres with us. And yeah, thank you very much, Pablo.
Thank you very much, Julia. Hope to see you soon as well. It was very nice to talk to you again.